Hey Moon Platoon, the markets are closing today for a 3-day break. It's Good Friday tomorrow, which means there's not going to be any activity tomorrow. That means contracts expire today. And that means that we need to cover the most important bits for this morning, AMC particularly. Right now, we have noticed for both AMC and GME that FTD data has just been revealed by the SEC themselves. We've been watching this on the SEC website here, right? The data downloads, you can just download it straight from the website here. I'm going to add this so you guys can look, but a quick summary recap is that AMC FTDs are 11 million shares at almost $100 million, and for GME you have 386,000 shares sold short at around $72 million. This is failure to deliver data, which means they failed to locate the proper people that they borrowed this from the ether. Naked shorting, counterfeit shorting. So that is an important update for that. Also, AMC Entertainment to issue 500 shares, right? But this is an ad, but look, the Reuters is already saying 22 minutes ago, AMC Entertainment to issue 500 million shares, says CEO. However, they are still voting right now. So how do we focus up on these institutions who are straight up just lying about the mainstream media, giving us a wrong take on this issued share? This is likely going to be the cause of much fear, uncertainty, and doubt, because 500 million shares is going to dilute the amount of shares out there and perhaps hurt the price in the meantime. So if you guys want to watch this to the end, we are going to play the full AMC interview that happened from earlier today, and likely we are going to give a sense of whether or not Adam Aron, the CEO, actually did tell us whether or not this is going to happen. He might have been bullish on it. He might Reuters might be right, but we want to be able to hear for ourselves. So smash this like early in advance, and off we go to show you guys this video. Wait, this one. Here we go.
$5 billion in debt.
Good morning. Good morning to you.
Yeah, I got to do the good morning thing. You have $5 billion in debt. Can you solve it?
Hold on, that was really funny. I did want to play that again.
Yeah. And you got what, $5 billion in debt.
Good morning. Good morning to you.
Yeah, I got to do the good morning thing. You have $5 billion in debt. Can you solve it? Can you solve it? That's a lot of debt.
I would like to think so. AMC has proven quite adept over the past year at raising capital. One of the reasons that we have survived this horrible pandemic so far is we raised $2.8 billion of cash and got another $1 billion of concessions from lenders and theater landlords. And that's put us in a position to run our business going forward with some degree of confidence. 5 different times during the last year, we were close to running out of cash because our theaters were all closed and we had no revenues. But we raised money to survive, and we're back operating as normal companies operate. And let me just tell you talked about good morning. Let me tell you what good morning means in America these days. The combination of vaccinations and new movie releases. Godzilla vs. Kong opened last night. It's a movie about apes. In the world of meme stops, apes a good thing. Maybe it's an omen.
Apes.
Our attendance last night was about 10 times what it's been all the other Wednesdays so far in 2021.
Geez, so
we can look ahead.
But at the same time, you got a stock. It's up 380%. I don't know, Adam. I mean, this is a good opportunity to sell a couple 100 million shares, isn't it?
Well, look, I want to be careful.
Let's have some distribution. This is the way you do it now. It's not the times. It's here.
Yeah, well, dilution is something we care about, but I would also tell you that we are formally asking for approval from our shareholders to authorize another 500 million shares that the company could issue if it wishes. There are a lot of benefits to our shareholders of having more authorized shares out in the market. We'll be sensitive to dilution issues. At the same time, though, there's an opportunity to bolster our cash reserves. There's an opportunity to buy back debt at a discount. There might be an opportunity to defray some of our deferred theater rents. settling with stock instead of with cash. Maybe there's some merger and acquisition opportunity where we could buy other companies inexpensively using our stock as a currency. There are a lot of good reasons for shareholders to give us the authority to have more shares.
Isn't it time to buy back
in our toolkit?
Don't we buy back the 6 3/8 of 11/15/24 that are trading at 36? I mean, that's a great piece of paper right now if you're going to do 500 million shares.
We are very well aware that we could buy back debt at a discount, and that in itself would be accretive and generate profitability for AMC and increase shareholder value for our shareholders.
All right, if you get that money, is it time to play hardball again? I mean, Black Widow, Cruella, I don't know. If I can go to AMC or I can go to Disney Plus, I don't know. Disney Plus is a lot of fun to watch at home, even though I love the popcorn, I love the social distancing. I mean, can you, if you get the capital, can't you say to these guys, you know what? Look, we're not playing by your rules. We're open, and we want those with a 6-week, with a 2-month exclusivity.
Well, look, I think one of the biggest benefits of AMC being the largest exhibitor in the world is that we have a seat at the table. And we're in active discussions with movie studios all the time. We consider them our partners in this ecosystem of the release of movies. We've been discussing Windows policies for years. Some of those discussions are very easy. Some of those discussions are heated, as you say. There was a lot of drama around theatrical windows starting last April. That continued this January and continues apace. But as I said, we've got a seat at the table because we're an important player. And so far, we've been able to reach agreement with studios on mutually agreeable terms, what we think are good terms for the studios, but also, very importantly, good terms for us and for AMC shareholders.
Adam, I don't want to belabor this point, but Jim's question is so key. You know, Black Widow, among some, was seen as a bit of a large tell about the window because they held their cards earlier in the year. Then they finally push it back 2 months. But as Jim says, you can get it at home. And a lot's been written about the fact that Disney didn't really do exhibitors any favors. Do you agree with that?
Well, look, I'd rather not comment publicly about what Disney is doing or isn't doing or what their strategy is and what their strategy isn't. I will tell you that Disney and AMC as two companies have been very close partners for decades and decades. I expect to be very close partners with Disney for decades and decades to come. I'm not worried about the competition from the home. Godzilla vs. Kong was available at home on some streaming services, and almost 250,000 people were at our theaters last night, just in the United States alone, on a Wednesday. That's a good omen. People, if this pandemic has taught us anything, people want to get out of their houses and their apartments. And going to a movie theater is something that people have done for more than a century. It's a cheap date, it's a cheap night out, and it's a very nice break from being cooped up in where you live 24/7.
I couldn't agree more, Adam. To me, it is the date. I mean, the dinner, I got a restaurant, but the date is to go to the movies. Now, you have you must talk about partners. You have a very interesting partner in the people who are on Reddit at WallStreetBets. And I know that you earlier said that you find it so appealing about the Reddit phenomenon is the affection and allegiance that Americans have across the country. And you really point blank say that it's really terrific that millions and millions of people rally behind saving AMC. So I don't know. I think they could rally behind 500 million shares.
Well, look, Jim, Save AMC was a hashtag that was trending on Twitter as the single most tweeted hashtag one of those days in January. Look, there are a lot of things going on with the so-called Reddit phenomenon, but I think one of them is there are a lot of people out there who have an affection for AMC, who did not want to see hedge funds short our stock and try to force us into bankruptcy, and they stood by our side, and we appreciate that. And now as we go forward, we want to run this company right. These people are now our shareholders, and we want to do what's best for our shareholders, increase long-term shareholder value. And as you said, one of the smartest ways we can do that right now is increase the available share count at AMC and then use those shares wisely, not in the next week, in the next month, or even the next year, but over the next 5 weeks and 5 months and 5 years, 10 weeks and 10 months and 10 years.
You read my mind. Last question. I thought the shorts were trying to just drive you out of business. I thought the shorts were taking the stock down, creating some level of fear, and then making it so that the bonds rolled over, making it hard for you to be able to raise money. You hit upon what I think was actual truth about the shorts.
Look, I do. There clearly were people who were campaigning to force us to run dry on cash. Once you get in this cycle of approaching insolvency, it's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy. And most companies who get in that zone wind up having to file. By contrast, because of the confidence in AMC and our future by retail investors, we sold over $800 million worth of stock in December and January alone. And we raised a lot of money. We bolstered our cash reserves. And we, as I said in a press statement in mid-January, we took near-term imminent bankruptcy completely off the table. Now, with vaccinations moving at a very brisk pace, with new movie releases coming, with people coming back to theaters in quantity again, as was the case last night with Godzilla versus Kong, and will, we think, be the case with other new movies that are released in April and May and June and July. Look, we got a brighter future.
All right, I just want to be sure it's there's a little ticker that said there was $500 million. I thought I heard 500 million shares.
My experience is that Jim Cramer is never wrong, and you are correct. Okay. We have asked our shareholders for approval for 500 million new shares to be authorized. That doesn't mean we'll use all those shares right away, but it does give the company optionality and flexibility. And optionality and flexibility when you're navigating these uncharted waters of the pandemic are very good things.
Well, I want to congratulate you. I know it was 5 times. Fabulous article in the New York Times about you. You are a fighter. The only thing I'm bummed about, you gave me no Churchill. How about you gave me no Churchill, Adam?
I did in the middle of the dire times when we were tight on cash on an earnings call, as you're alluding. I quoted the famous "we'll fight them on the beaches" Churchill speech, saying that AMC was in a wartime mentality. We were not going to let hedge funds or short sellers take us out, and we were going to go throw everything that we had at saving AMC, and we think that's exactly what we've done. Now, we're not totally out of the woods yet. We still need more vaccinations to come. We need more movies to be released. We do need to see a return to normalcy in the United States. Right. But as we look ahead, we think the odds are much better that will be the outcome.
Well, I want to thank Adam Houdini, Aaron, who has piloted, and people should read this Times profile. A lot of people would have given up. You not only took on the shorts, but you just are going to be the winner and maybe even the last man standing. Have a great time in Florida with Jeff Sonnenfeld this weekend.
Have a great time in Florida. Well, Gilbert Gottfried spoke correctly here. This is what Adam Aron told CNBC. And as a reminder, he checked. It's not $500 million. It's 500 million shares. So that is, once again, to the tune of do not move anybody, because we have user 80bit, the writer of the Everything Short, the thumbnail where Kenny G is standing against fire and looking straight into your soul. He's going to be here to talk about his DD in just a second. But before that, let me talk about an NPR article about Magic the Gathering. Right back when that bubble was forming, Magic the Gathering wanted to put out a ton more cards just to hurt the people that thought that these collectibles were going to be worth a ton. That destroyed a bunch of the collectible mentality, right? It hurt the bubble because it was deflating it but not popping it. And that dropped the price of a pack of cards all the way back from like double, triple digits to $3 once again. But that's what Wizard of the Coast wanted. If this is what AMC is trying to do, or maybe they're just trying to make a little bit of extra money, hey, Adam Aron, you have to listen to the vote. You can't go out announcing these things until the vote is out. And I hope that you all understand right now that we have some major moves for AMC coming up. You do not want to miss out for GME as well. So smash that subscribe button, that bell button. We're on our way to 100K. We would love to have you with us. Let's look at the people that make this possible, and we'll all see you in the money.